Hello, my name is Andy Hall, and I'm with the CIA. I wanted to share one of my experiences with what I believe was a Sasquatch. Wasn't particularly in the knowing about Sasquatch at the time. You know, I've heard the name. Don't recall anything special, sticking out or anything like that. But my first encounter happened to me when I was probably about 4 years old. We lived in the old cabin like place back in the woods, surrounded by national forest, basically. We did have a big hay field, and that was pretty much it. There was no other houses really right on top of us, maybe half a mile away at the closest. Um, anyway, so at this cabin, we didn't have a bathroom, a restroom. We didn't even have an outhouse. It's basically you went outside and found the nearest tree away. I wouldn't say nearest tree, but you got far enough away from the house that, if you had to go do your business. But at the time, I was probably about 4, scared to death of the dark. I got up one night to go pee, and I wouldn't know where I was going outside. But I normally went to the door and, you know, took a leak out like little boys will do. The way to get to the door that I was heading to, I had to pass by my kitchen window. So I'm walking by, and normally I've done this before. Walking by the window, I would look out. And most time, on a moonlit night or whatever, I could look out, see Dad's bee gums and off into the woods a little bit, I guess to make sure there wasn't no boogeyman or nothing around there like that. Or what I was scared to death of was bears. And I watched too many of them killer grizzly type movies. So anyway, I'm going there and I look out the window. Well, I don't look out. I just glance towards the window and I notice that I can't see out. And I'm like trying to, split second, trying to figure out why can't I see out the window? And then it happened. And I'll never forget those eyes. This thing bent down into the window and looked at me with two red glowing eyes, sort of like the fire coals in your campfire or whatever. They glowed, and it blinked twice. I don't know what it done after that because I took off back to the bed, screaming and hollering for my grandfather, and never got out of bed. And I told him there was something at the window, and I called it the devil. What I did, it just spooked me very badly. Uh, Not the only time I seen it. I'll share that another time, maybe. Ever since then, there's been something around that particular place. I have no doubt in my mind now that what I saw was a Bigfoot. It completely blocked out the window. The window was about, I can't remember the measurements. You know, took me 40 years to go up there and get the measurements. I wasn't into Bigfoot. It wasn't, one of these things I do, and until I got like measuring stuff, how big this thing was. I mean, over 7 foot tall. And its shoulders, I mean, the window measured, I can't remember if it's 32 or 36. It's your typical window. It was a lot older. I mean, no double pane glass and all that, but, it's your typical window. And its shoulders were like, had to be past the window. Now, one of the questions is was there any footprints? No. The ground was too hard packed around the house for anything to leave. I mean, any kind of prints. Now, if it happened to been muddy, maybe, but they hadn't rained. It wasn't muddy outside. Another thing that I get asked a lot about is the glow. How do I know it was, I say they was self-glowing. Sort of like a firefly or something like that, it glows. It's not a reflection. It's not like a light would cast towards you, like a deer or something, its eyes, when the light hit it, they light up. These eyes just glowed. There was no light on. I didn't turn on no kitchen light. There was no other lights in the house on. And for the creature, the moon would have been over here, and this is the side of the house. The creature was over here in the shadow of the house. So it couldn't have been moonlight either. I have, heard stories of people who have seen the red eyes. Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's one of my stories. And I hope y'all will share y'all stories as you come on this page. You know, it's something when a myth becomes reality, and not a lot of people believe you. And one of the things about this page is trying to have another doorway for people locally in this area, Southwest Virginia, Southern West Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, to just share their stories. Maybe, we can come out and try to investigate if things are going on. I'm not no expert. There is no experts in this field because nobody has been able to go in and study a Sasquatch. It's just, if somebody says they're an expert, they're a liar. And that's how I believe. Is a Bigfoot behind every tree? No. Is every black blob a Bigfoot? No. But there's something out there. There are other things out there. And that's why this page is created, to get people to want to tell their stories. You don't have to do a video or nothing like that. You don't even have to, you can message me or Jeff, either one, and talk about your situations. We can come talk to you and everything. You want to tell the story, but you don't want your name out there, we'll make sure that, we'll call you whatever, John Doe 318 or whatever, But appreciate you watching the video. Get the page out there, and Love to hear your experiences. And if this video does any good, give it a thumbs up. I've never recorded myself like this. I hate the way I sound recorded. What I hear doesn't sound what's in my head. But would love to hear from you. Thank you.